So, the news is that the verdict is in for Lori. Just kind of waiting to get the word out here. I'm not the best at these live videos. I am pretty new of a channel and I'm learning, so bear with me, but I appreciate anyone who jumps on. I'm really hoping that we get justice for everyone today and she is found guilty. It's pretty cool that they came back so early, but it's only going to be that cool if we get a good verdict here. So, they said that the judge was going to live stream it from his YouTube channel, but I haven't seen that happen yet. So, I'm multitasking here so that if that does happen, I can bring that to you. Just looking here on his page. And in the meanwhile, this trial's been kind of tough because we haven't really gotten a whole lot, we've been able to hear the audio of the court proceedings, but it's not really the same as getting to watch um, the live stream. So it's been a little bit harder to follow for a lot of people, I think. Usually when we have a verdict, they give the jury, could be a half hour or an hour to get into some kind of semblance to give this verdict. I don't know if we have a time of when this is going to take place. I'm diligently looking into that. So the judge is Stephen Boyce, and I'm subscribed so that when he pops, I should be getting a message. However, it says no videos, so I don't know if they put them up, temporarily, take them down, or how that works. So I'm just kind of waiting along here. Justin Lum out of Phoenix put it in, and on Facebook that the verdict is in, and Court TV is showing the verdict is in, the verdict is in. So this is pretty intense now. I just wish we knew when. So, I see a lot of feeds up of people, stating the verdict is in and a lot of lives pending. So we're just in a standby mode right now, waiting. Okay, it says that it's expected at 11:45, and that's AZ time, so they're 3 hours behind me. So a half hour. We got 30 minutes, folks. 30 minutes till we hear the verdict in this case. I am a little anxious. Let's see. I see KSL 5 is on live. Let's see what they have to say. If I can get them. Hate that.
To Summit County now, where a widow/author is in jail tonight.
Huh. I see it on my phone, but not on the computer. Weird. Oh, they were live, so I guess it's in their videos. It's not live anymore. I don't see it. I don't see it. It's so crazy how it's on your phone, but not here. Well, we got 30 minutes. I think that the evidence in the case um, was pretty compelling. The hair on the duct tape shows that her duct tape was used, most likely. I mean, that can be argued, I suppose. I didn't really hear all the argument in that, but all right, here we got Law and Crime. They are doing the verdict watch, and they are live right now, so that's all I have live outside the courthouse. Let's see what they got going on.
When your lawyer tells you not to start a war, you should listen.
Probably watch it.
Tying the Chad and Lori's religion with them as well. And they want to separate them, the two, because we want to say that Lori and Chad's religion is not real and not justifiable for whatever they did.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bastardization of any real connection to Latter-day Saints. Rich, when we see this verdict announced, and we will, what do you think the public reaction might be to this? Is this, I mean, other than relief that it's over?
Well, from what I can tell, the public is pretty firmly of the belief that she is guilty, and that Chad is guilty too. So I think, assuming you get a guilty verdict, it will have public support and will be consistent with public opinion. If we get a crazy verdict we're not expecting, obviously it would be different.
Yeah, I think the odds-on money line here would be strongly in favor of some conviction. Perhaps not all charges, but I think because they came in under 7 hours, likely that it was on all charges. Catherine, when we look at these kinds of charges, and we talked earlier about those that have been removed from the plate, and that is the destruction of evidence, they're still pretty detailed, and we assume that the jury figured out the difference between the conspiracy versus the actual murders, but they could have said, conspiracy we get, direct murder we don't.
That is always a possibility, but I think with this case, it's easier to find clarity just because of how horrendous the crimes are and exorbitant amount of evidence, how there's 1,000 exhibits and the jurors taking 4 to 5 notebooks to take down notes on all of this. So I suspect that when they were listening closely, they get the conspiracy there and they were able to move one step up, which is to say, yes, it's not just conspiracy, but also actual committing of first-degree murder against all of these victims.
Yeah, I'm most curious about that. And when jurors talk, and I'm sure somebody will, I'd love to hear how that all played out. Again, I'm assuming guilt on some level. Hey, Rich, now we look forward. I'm never one to look too far back. We look forward. We'll have the Chad trial coming up here, but depending on the outcome of this trial, it could impact, A, whether that trial goes forward, B, how that trial looks in terms of formal charges. We do know that the death penalty is still on the table for Chad, but not in this case for Lori Vallow Daybell.
Right. So the mistakes that were made by the prosecution here in that regard, I think were not made in Chad's case. So death penalty is on the table. My understanding is that his lawyer was a pretty active attendant at this trial, and clearly he was trying to, see the prosecution's case because it's going to be much of the same evidence, and probably to watch the jury and see how they react and help make a plan for the defense of Chad. And the verdict here could impact that. Most obviously, one could consider, if they were Chad, trying to negotiate to take death off the table if he pleads guilty to charges. That would be a pretty obvious path to explore in terms of a plea deal. I don't know if the prosecution would take that. I don't know if Chad would take that. But if there's a guilty verdict here, that's going to have to meaningfully affect how he thinks about his trial coming up next year.
And one of the things that he might be thinking about, we know that Lori Vallow Daybell did not take the stand in this case. Maybe if all goes south against her,
That's yeah. I mean, they're gonna have to take into consideration a lot because, well, I hope they did. I guess it's all past tense now. You know, her reactions. Her children are dead. She's on the beach in Hawaii. I think the video, and I have it here. Let's watch that. The video of her getting served on the beach, I think, is pretty much a big impact. Let's check that out. Oh, sorry. Your kids are missing.
Mrs. Vallow, you can serve.
Okay, let's try that again. It's
How's it going?
TV release.
Are you
Yeah.
standing, Lori? Mrs. Vallow, you can serve.
Do you have any questions regarding that?
So it is 14:39 hours on January 25th.
I think she's nervous. Her breathing has got a little bit more pronounced. I like to call him Dumbbell instead of Daybell, looking over. He knows damn well what's going on.
Any questions?
You have any questions for that? No?
Okay.
Okay.
Mug arrogant.
All right, have a nice day.
Have a nice day.
Wow.
Bye.
Watching that is just mind-boggling. Like, are you kidding me? Her whole demeanor. I don't think that helped her case at all. I know East Idaho News has done a great job covering this, and they're live.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp is an all-in-one productivity software where you can manage.
We don't need to hear the ad. I guess they're not up yet either. So everybody's just waiting. That clip, though, I think said a lot. A lot. There were so many uh, videos of her when East Idaho News caught up with her in Hawaii. Let's see if I can find that clip so I can play that for you again. In Hawaii. We saw that. I want to see the one where they found her. She had all that money. I think that this has taken over Google search. There's a 2021. Okay. Oh, that's about cellmate. Oh man, I hate that. You can always find stuff, um, you know, when you're not looking for it. This is crazy. spell his name right. Nathan Eaton. I didn't want to know if if it was Nate or Nathan. I wanted to make sure. You remember that when Nate went over to Hawaii and found her? He's been doing great videos. Good job to Nate Eaton. He's been keeping us all informed. He's got a live going. Let's see. Let me see. He's got all those videos going. Let's watch them while we wait. If I can get it up. I don't know why it's not streaming. Let me see. Share. Nearby share. I don't know why I can't get this. Okay, I got it. Should be this. Should be this. But it's not. It's funny, it's on my phone, but it's not on here. Oh. Oh. Here we go. Here's the video I've been talking about. Thanks for bearing with me.
Check 1 2. Check, 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 check. Okay, can we walk up there?
Perfect timing.
We can walk up to them. I'll do the quiet, please know we're coming. Okay, so Chad and Lori have just been pulled over here at a beach resort.
What's going on?
Yeah, they just pulled somebody over here.
Sorry?
They pulled somebody over. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, but stand by. They're going to let him out. Here goes Chad. Chad's about to get out of the car. Chad's about to get out of the car. It all blew up early, period. Come with me, Eric.
Yeah, somebody said Happy Mother's Day. You ain't lying.
Get up here, get up here.
Certainly was no mother. I feel really sorry for her older son.
Lori, Nate Eaton with East Idaho News. Can you tell me where your kids are? Where are your kids?
No comment.
No comment? They've been missing for 4 months. You have nothing to say? You're over here in Hawaii? Where are your children? Yeah, why don't you just give us a comment? Just tell us where they are. Chad, where are Lori's kids?
Huh.
What happened to Tammy, Chad?
Yeah.
Can you tell us what happened to Tammy? Why have you guys been in Hawaii for so long? Listen, just tell people what's happening. There's people around the country praying for your children, praying for you guys. Why don't you give us answers?
That's great.
That's great. That's great that they're praying for you, praying for your kids. What? You have nothing to say? Did you do something to your children? Are your children still alive? That's a simple question. I've got 3 kids of my own. I can tell you every minute where my kids are at. Where are your children?
Terrible.
What do you guys plan to do now? You have 5 days to get your children in front of a judge in Rexburg, then what? Are you guys innocent of any crimes? Have you committed any crimes? Chad, you guys have a lot to say on your podcast. You don't have anything to say now? Lori?
Good one.
Do you believe that you were instructed by God or others to do something for your children? If you could give a message to them, what would you say? Listen, if you just talk to us, we'll leave you alone.
Family's worried. Tammy's family's very worried.
Tammy's family's very worried. Lori, your mother, Kay, came out. Kay and Larry, they're offering a $20,000 reward for your children, and you're over here on the beach?
Yeah.
This is your chance to tell your story. Nothing you want to say? One last chance right here. Anything you want to say to the people in Idaho? Laura, you have a lot of cash there in your baggie. Were you guys planning to leave Hawaii?
Should have stolen it.
Were you planning to take off?
Unbelievable.
And with that, they ducked into the back door of a hotel, and they're gone. They didn't answer any questions. When I said people are praying for their children, she simply said, "That's good. That's great." We'll continue to follow it. I'm Nate Eaton, reporting in Kauai.
And Nate was pretty worked up over that. I don't blame him. He has a lot of restraint. That look on her face just makes you want to grab her and shake her. Like, talking to you, no answer.
These bins have to be the most disgusting thing in the
Hope she gets everything she's got coming to her. I think that, this was purely over greed, money, lust. She's just vindictive and spiteful. She was angry that she couldn't get her husband's life insurance. So she's going to punish everyone by taking the lives of those poor kids. And, how do you take the life of your child? JJ was adopted, and she could have given him back to his grandparents. TYLEE was, old enough to be on her own. Certainly, she didn't need to do anything like that. No one does. If you don't want your kids, you can give them away. You don't have to kill them. All these parents that kill children and caretakers who kill little innocent children. You shouldn't kill anyone, but I'm speaking specifically to children because of this case. If you don't want your kid, you're losing it, whatever your situation is. Separate yourself from the child. Take the child somewhere safe, even if they're not a newborn or whatever, so you feel there's no safe haven. Bring them somewhere safe. There's no reason to ever put your hands on a child like that. All these women that have a boyfriend for a week that they met on Tinder. Don't leave strangers in charge of your children. It's what's wrong in the world. So many things. But this is just wow. All the dead husbands. Poor Tammy. Looked like such a nice lady. All Tammy's children have to suffer. It's really sad. And I'm just praying to God that they got this verdict right. So, we'll wait. I'll be back. I'm gonna pause my big mouth for now. And we'll see what transpires here. We have just about 14 minutes, okay? So we'll see you back in just a bit. I got word that the court is testing a live stream. So I should be able to get that for us. Hang tight. We only have a few more minutes. 12 minutes? I'm counting. Just getting it ready, folks. 10 minutes. Counting down. Can't wait. I'm just praying. Just praying they get it right.
everyone, I'm Lindsay Davis. We begin tonight here in Buffalo, London, in Alaska, Uvalde, Kentucky, from Poland, Ukrainian refugees here in Warsaw. Did you
Just waiting. We're a couple of minutes over. Just waiting. Very anxiously. We all want to get this. I guess they're getting it together in the courtroom, but the live is up, so probably just getting everything together. And I guess once they're ready, we can see. Oh, 12:45. I'm thinking Idaho. They said 11:45 Arizona time. Yeah, we're right. Should be any minute now. Getting all kinds of messages. Come on, folks. Well, come on. They're late. Hope it's all for good reason. All right. Let's hang tight. Any second now. They're working on fixing her to make the image in that camera pan more clear. It's not me, so give it a sec.
All rise. District Court's now in session. Honorable Stephen Boyce, Judge presiding. Thank you. Please be seated. All right, good afternoon, everyone. We are going on the record. Court reporter, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, thank you. This is case CR 22-21-1624, State of Idaho versus Lori Noreen Vallow. The matter before the court today is for a verdict in the jury trial that's been conducted over the last several weeks in this case. The court will note on the record, prosecution is here represented by Mr. Wood, Ms. Blake, and Ms. Smith. The defense, Mr. Archibald, Mr. Thomas are present, as well as the defendant who is present. The court's been advised that the jury has reached a verdict at this time. Is the state ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is the defense ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Very well. Let's have the jurors brought in, please. While the jurors are being brought in, I'd like to indicate that this matter is being live streamed on the court's YouTube channel. In addition, the court's existing conduct order is in effect, and everyone needs to comply with that conduct order. This verdict has several counts. The court is going to require that all in attendance abstain from any sort of loud outbursts or sounds that could in any way affect the proceedings in this matter as the counts are read in the verdict. And I expect to maintain order and decorum as has been the case throughout this trial with those in attendance, so please keep that in mind. once we get to this stage of these proceedings. So with that in mind, if the jurors are ready, they can be seated.
All right, please. Jury's all present, count for Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Bailiff. Please be seated. All right, the court will note that we had alternate jurors that were excused upon deliberations, so now the remaining 12 jurors who have deliberated are here and appear to all be properly seated. Will counsel stipulate that the jury is all present and properly seated from the state?
Yes, Your Honor.
Will the defense will stipulate?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, at this time, the court will inquire then from the jury. Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yeah.
Very well. If you have the verdict form, I'd ask the bailiff bring that over here and we'll have it brought to the clerk to be read. All right, the court has reviewed the verdict form, find that it's been properly completed, signed and dated, so at this time I'll direct the clerk to please read the verdict into the record. The defendant would please rise.
In the District Court of the 7th Judicial District of the State of Idaho, in and for the County of Fremont, State of Idaho plaintiff versus Lori Noreen Vallow, aka Lori Noreen Daybell, defendant, case number CR 22211624. Verdict. We, the jury, duly impaneled and sworn to try the above entitled action for our verdict, unanimously answer the questions submitted to us as follows. Question number 1. In regards to count 1 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of TYLEE Ryan and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 2. In regards to count 2 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of TYLEE Ryan? Answer, guilty. Question number 3. In regards to count 3 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow and grand theft by deception? Answer, guilty. Question number 4. In regards to count 4, the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of first-degree murder of Joshua Jackson Vallow? Answer, guilty. Question number 5. In regards to count 5 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of conspiracy to commit first-degree murder of TAMMY Daybell? Answer, guilty. Question number 6. In regards to count 7 of the amended indictment, is Lori Noreen Vallow not guilty or guilty of grand theft? Answer, guilty. Dated this 12th day of May, 2023, signed by the presiding officer.
All right, please be seated. Madam Clerk, thank you for reading the verdict into the record. At this time, let me just inquire of the jury, is this in fact your true and correct verdict?
Yes. Yes.
Thank you. ask now from counsel, does the state wish to have the jury polled?
We do not, Your Honor.
Does the defense wish to have the jury polled?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, the jury will be polled at this time. Madam Clerk, if you would please indicate only by juror numbers of each of the jurors if this is their true and correct verdict individually.
Juror number 4, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes, it is.
Juror number 5, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 6, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 8, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 9, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 10, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 11, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 12, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 13, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 14, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 15, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
Juror number 16, is this your true and correct verdict?
Yes.
All right, thank you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. The court does find it's a unanimous verdict in this case, so I will direct the clerk to record the verdict into the record of this case. I'll now have a closing jury instruction for our jurors and also those alternate jurors that are in attendance today. You have now completed your duties as jurors in this case and are discharged with the sincere thanks of this court. The question may arise as to whether you may discuss this case with the attorneys or with anyone else. For your guidance, the court instructs you that whether you talk to the attorneys or to anyone else is entirely your own decision. It is proper for you to discuss this case if you want to, but you are not required to do so, and you may choose not to discuss the case with anyone at all. If you choose to talk to someone about the case, you may tell them as much or little as you like about your deliberations or the facts that influenced your decision. If you decide to discuss the case with anyone, you should be careful to respect the privacy and feelings of your fellow jurors. You should limit your comments to your own perceptions and feelings. If anyone persists in discussing the case over your objections or becomes critical of your service either before or after any discussion has begun, please report that to me. At this time, then, the court offers its sincere thanks to the jurors. I appreciate your patience and attentiveness throughout this lengthy trial. I also thank you again for upholding your important civic duty as jurors in this case. I'd also like to thank the attorneys who tried this case for your professionalism throughout the proceedings and in the pretrial motions that came before trial. At this time, then, the court will discuss briefly sentencing in this case. In Idaho, pursuant to Title 19, Chapter 25, a report is required to be prepared before sentencing called a pre-sentence investigation report. In a typical case, that report takes at least 2 months to prepare. In a case such as this, it will likely take longer. The court will inquire as to a pre-sentence investigator for the time frame required to prepare the report in this case. Upon getting an estimation, then the court will reach out to counsel for determining a date for sentencing. I'll just advise everyone that will likely be, I'm thinking, at least 3 months probably before that sentencing can be scheduled to have the report completed. The court will also advise at this time then, upon conclusion of the proceedings, the defendant will be remanded back to the custody of the Ada County Sheriff at this time to be transferred to the Fremont County Sheriff for further proceedings in Fremont County for sentencing. The court will also instruct the clerk to collect any of the jurors' notes pursuant to Idaho Criminal Rule 24.1A. At this time, then, the court will ask that the jurors and any alternates in attendance be excused from the courtroom, and I am going to direct that all in attendance here remain seated until such time as the jurors have been completely exited from the courtroom. And in addition, I'll let the jurors know there is additional information you'll be receiving through the court administration offices on your way out as you leave today. So again, thank you for your service. Court will be adjourned. And Mr. Bailiff, if you could have all rise for the jury.
All rise, please.
right, thank you, counsel. Thank you, everyone, for your decorum this afternoon. Court is adjourned.
Judge, when would you like me to open the doors for?
All right, thank you, counsel. Thank you, everyone, for your decorum this afternoon.
Well,
Court is adjourned.
that's it. Guilty. Woo! So happy. She looked a little pissed there at the end. She thought she was going to get away with it. I guess the world did come to an end for her. So I hope it was a wild ride for her back. This is terrible. I just hope she has a really bad night in jail. And I'm really happy for everyone affected by this case. They definitely deserve justice. Well, thank you all for hanging tight with me. Sorry I'm not the best at this, but hopefully I'll get better. But at least I brought you the news. Thank you so much, and you all have a good day. Most of all, be safe.